Hello, 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 and we are back for a third spooky encounter with that most elusive of vampires, the Countess Jackula, in Latin known as the Count Jackula.
Hey, how you doing? I feel like I'm in a Jessa Franco movie, because I'm an honorary lesbian vampire.
Yeah.
Better than the vampire we saw this week, because we saw Dracula Untold.
Yeah, and you're already a vampire, you're just an honorary lesbian.
Yeah. So it's already halfway there. How was Dracula Untold? I have to ask.
I enjoyed it. I was entertained. That's all you can ask for, really, in a movie.
It was, based on all the terrible reviews I'd seen beforehand, I went in there with rock-bottom expectations, and it went above rock-bottom expectations. It's the first film since R.I.P.D. to do that for me, where it was like, I expected this to be completely shit. It was just like mostly shit.
It wasn't mostly shit. It was entertaining. And I said in the vlog that if you are going to see this expecting a Dracula biopic, you'll be let down. If you go into it expecting a World of Darkness vampire character's background, you'll be fine. Plus, most of it was filmed in Northern Ireland, so.
Yeah, they filmed 200 meters from the Northern Ireland's world famous Giant's Causeway, the cliff face beside it.
They filmed in one of the parks outside of Belfast. It's hilarious.
Apparently, a group of children on a field trip came across them filming in one of the parks.
Really? I didn't hear about that. That's awesome.
Allegedly.
Well.
So how's the guy who played the Lord of the Night there?
Well, he did a very good job of playing Bard the Bowman as Orlando Bloom.
That's true. I do have to say, he's kind of a one-trick pony with his jawline and stubble.
Hi, I'm Luke Evans. I've used the exact same performance in The Hobbit and Dracula Untold and Immortals and Clash of the Titans remake and pretty much everything else I've ever been in. And what is that performance? Orlando Bloom, but right now probably slightly more famous than Orlando Bloom.
But the CGI was good and the vampiric effects were good. It wasn't that crappy cop-out that you usually see. So I liked it.
I knew enough about Vlad the Impaler's life and things to be baffled by some of the choices that they made, because they have this femme, blonde, white person who obviously Vlad doesn't care much for, working for the Turks. And if no one knows about Vlad the Impaler's life, that's clearly supposed to be Radu the Handsome, Vlad's younger brother, who was taken as a hostage at the same time as Vlad, but he was younger and so was more fully indoctrinated into the Turks, and he became a loyal subject of the Sultan. And he replaced Vlad as the Prince of Wallachia. And then I believe Vlad replaced him at some point. But it's like they have Radu there, but they don't, which I find baffling.
See, I think
that is really strange. It
might have been written in there at some point, and then for time reasons or some other reason they had to cut that subplot.
It's entirely possible. Oh, honey, I found out who Charles Dance's character, who in life he was meant to have been.
Who?
Caligula.
Really?
Even though he's about 40 years too old.
Caligula the vampire. Alright, this is getting more interesting.
As a first bit of Universal Monsters, Marvel, MCU, Monsters Cinematic Universe, I want to see the other ones. This makes much more sense than the Robin Hood Cinematic Universe that Sony's doing.
Oh, how? There's one story.
Who's going to cross over with Robin Hood?
No, apparently
Wolverine?
they're doing... apparently what Sony are planning to do are individual stories for each of the Merry Men and having them team up Avengers style.
But nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
No one's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see the Will Scarlet movie. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's Sony who said they're going to do that. These are the same guys who decided Spider-Man needs to be its own Marvel Cinematic Universe.
We're going to find out finally how Friar Tuck, how his battle with obesity went when he was a child. I mean, what? So bad, no one cares.
Yeah, but if it is Sony, these are the same guys who decided that Spider-Man needs to have a bunch of spin-off movies that all team up again like they're the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The same Sony who allegedly are recasting Spider-Man for Sinister Six because they decided to abandon the Amazing Universe.
See,
allegedly.
This is why we can't have nice things.
I'm kind of hoping that what they do with that Universal Monsters cinematic universe is that they just bite the bullet and remake Monster Squad.
Oh, at some point, yeah. But as I understand it, Charles Dance is going to be the big bad, or he's going to be I'm not even sure if he's going to be the big bad or the Nick Fury of the team.
No, but think about this. Think about this, you guys. the cereal tie-in will be amazing when it finally happens. Yes.
Monster cereal tie-in?
Yes. Because she didn't know what I was talking about when I was talking about, because wouldn't it, like, you could just have all of them in one bowl. It's, like, full of marshmallows and monsters.
I'm actually trying to find someone to do a commission, which is me, Fear Fan, and Horror Guru as the monster cereals.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that'd be great.
The only thing I can't figure out who should be Yummy Mummy. I feel like Lupa should be Fruit Brute.
Yes, she should.
He's sort of my resident sort of art guy. You could ask Haganista. He does quite good work.
Yes, but then they'll all be naked.
Which, that'll make it even better.
I was gonna say, like, speaking of Dracula, it sounds like my favorite, like, oh my god, he's Dracula reveal, which was telegraphed from a mile away, but I still felt like they did it great, was in this manga/anime called Hellsing.
I remember Hellsing.
Yeah, I love the
that.
point in the book where this entire time, like, the guy's just is called Alucard, which is Dracula backwards. And so you're like, oh, I get it, he's Dracula. But then they get to the point. Yeah, they get to the point where they reveal who he is, and you realize, no, they're not implying that he's Dracula. They're letting you know that he's just straight up Vlad the Impaler. Because he's having this weird supernatural fight with a bunch of guys in front of this international hotel in, I think, Brazil, where there are, like, all these international flags in a big row in front of the hotel. And as he's killing guys, they're just, like, landing on the nations of the flag that they came from. So by the end of it, like, he's standing on top of this hotel. There's lightning all around him. And it's just these bodies impaled all around him. And you're like, oh, I get it. He's Vlad the Impaler.
I remember watching this in my friend's parents' basement. Because back when we could get anime on VHS, you had to buy, like, 15,000 of them, and whoever the girl was, the blonde girl hunter, I can't remember her last name. It's something amazing. My one friend became, like, obsessed with her. Like, she cosplayed back before cosplay was a thing. She started, like, signing her papers at school with I think it was like Evandra Helsing or Electra. It was something like that. But yeah, Integra, that's it. But she
the
went
one
off,
who's always smoking the cigarillos.
Yeah, but she went off the goddamn deep end over that character. And never came back, actually. Amen.
But Dracula Untold is basically the first 5 minutes of Bram Stoker's Dracula minus the awesome muscle sinewy armor and minus the shadow puppets. And the awesome music.
Does he impale a cross and blood comes out?
But no. he does impale some people, though. So there are impalations happening.
Yeah. He does. The film's really weird, and it starts off with Dracula's like, oh, I'm retired from being the Impaler. I was drinking. I'm a different person now. Now I've discovered, Jesus and the Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't do that anymore. And then suddenly the Sultan's like, dude, I want fucking boys that I totally won't fuck. And then he's like, you don't cross me, bitch. And then impalements. And then he's like, but that's all off screen.
So basically, I am Dracula. I'm not Dracula anymore. I'm gonna rape you in the butt. Okay, I'm Dracula again.
Well, no, the raping is. I might have been thinking of another Vlad
this
the
film
Impaler
contains
biopic.
no actual raping.
Yeah, the other Vlad the Impaler biopics sort of pick up on that part because that was something that the Janissaries had to go through quite often. The Janissaries being the Christians that were taken by subjugated peoples by the Turks and trained as from boyhood to being loyal soldiers, and that happened quite a lot to them.
But
oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Go see it, Americans, as soon as it comes out because it's worth. But so this week we thought we'd discuss something that we hadn't before, obviously, and that's the special kind of horror movie that you see, at the Family Video or Blockbuster, or whatever have you. Children back in the day when you actually rented movies and took them to your house, and that's the creature feature. I'd be like, oh, I wonder what this movie's about. But it's going to be really good. Oh, wait, it's not. I mean, there were some good ones, like Arachnophobia, for example, but, and I'm not talking like, oh no, it's a werewolf kind of like where the creature's sentient. Just like, these things are coming, they're in a swarm, we're going to die. But usually in the standard way, where a girl dies first and then a black guy,
But those sorts of movies aren't exactly dead. You could say that like Sharktopus and Mega Shark and Megalodon, all the current shark obsession, even things like what's the shark hurricane thing? Sharknado. Even that's a takeoff of the same idea.
But those are silly. Those are not horror movies.
Well, look at like the giant spider now. It's not.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That you can't really take it very seriously. I don't even know if you were supposed to take it seriously at the time. I mean, what were you really supposed to take seriously? Hey, kids, we just fought a giant spider. Quick, we better have a school dance. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, somewhere played straight, like Arachnophobia. That was played.
Yeah, but
very straight.
Arachnophobia wasn't intended to be taken seriously either.
Yeah, Arachnophobia is incredibly tongue-in-cheek.
Okay, well, we took it seriously.
Well, honey, how old were you?
I was a freshman in high school. I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, you saw it at the right age then to treat it as a horror film. However, the older you get, the more obvious it is that there's at least this severe tongue-in-cheek elements to it.
Especially because right at the big last jump scare at the end, we were all like, what's going to happen? And my friend Dan Brannigan, when it actually happened, like put his hand in a spider form over Laura Luter's knee, and she screamed. That was the best part of the movie.
But the reason I can speak with that with a little bit of authority is because, like you, I saw it at that right age, and I thought it was a straight horror film until I rewatched it. Not fairly recently, but years later, and I worked it out that it works on multiple levels.
Oh. Well, see, we watched it as an actual horror movie, but then again, I don't have an issue with spiders, so I was like, you know.
I don't have a fear of spiders either. My lovely wife does though. Terrified of spiders. So every day, every night, there's like, honey, what? There's a spider in the bedroom, and I'm like, yes, there are spiders. Could you come and get rid of it? Yes, I'll come and get rid of it.
Oh, you're such a good husband.
Yeah, there's a great comic done by Keith Knight all about this type of relationship, and it starts out, the wife is hiding behind the couch, and it's like, there's a spider, you have to get rid of it. And he's like, okay. And he goes in, he comes back, and the spider is like gigantic. It's like bigger than he is. And he's like lifting it out with a forklift. But once he gets it outside, it's like a regular spider size. He's like, be free, young friend. She's like, oh my God, that spider was huge. He's like, I don't think we see them the same way.
You should never come to Ireland because there's a million billion spiders of varying size. And like I said, it doesn't bother me because they eat other bugs, and I'm not a spider person, but
and
I know
none of them are poisonous. But yeah, the spiders over here are completely non-poisonous, though. But there's a hell of a lot of today, like an explosion of monster movies. Lots of them done as sci-fi original films, like Mongolian Deathworm, Yeti, Curse of the Snow Demon, Gargoyle, Mansquito. You gotta
Mansquito,
Minotaur, Dino Shark, all these things. Loch Ness Terror, which I bought, thinking, oh, this is about Loch Ness, and it's like it says on the back it's all about Loch Ness and stuff, but it's set in fucking Canada.
I was about to say, is it filmed in Canada?
It's like, you bastards.
Have you seen Mammoth?
No.
Wait, before you say anything about it, I haven't, so let me guess. They find a woolly mammoth in the snow, and they bring it back to a museum, and it revives and kills everybody.
Close.
Oh.
Aliens, you see, revive a woolly mammoth and unleash it on an American town.
I'm not saying it's aliens.
It's aliens. It's totally aliens.
Oh, jeez.
I watched a found footage Bigfoot movie, and I can't remember the name of it, but Bigfoot was actually an alien.
Yes, that had Lance Henriksen in it. I've seen it. Sasquatch Mountain, a.k.a. Devil on the Mountain.
Oh, no, this is a different one.
Okay, there probably is more than one.
I'm going to try and find you the name
Why
of it.
is this a genre?
Because aliens and Bigfoot.
What? That's so stupid.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're going to do a Bigfoot movie, you want to take it in some kind of cryptozoology, evolution. Hey, honey, I just thought of something. You should probably look and see if there's a Christian movie about Bigfoot, where they find Bigfoot, but somehow he disproves evolution.
Oh, yeah. You mean like Unidentified, where it's all like, we got UFOs, oh no, they're demons, and I will explain this because I'm a man with a beard, and this is going to be the preachy part of the film.
People will be looking for Bigfoot, and one guy will be like, no, see, Bigfoot can't possibly exist because I don't believe in evolution, but then they find him, and he's like an angel or something, I don't know.
Yeah, if you can find it, I can't remember what it's called.
Bigfoot, The Lost Coast Tapes.
Bigfoot, The Lost Coast. Oh, that's the other alien Bigfoot movie?
Yeah.
Is there genre for this?
By the way, if you can find it, I don't know the title of the dang thing, but apparently there is a Jesus Bigfoot movie, and it stars
what?
It stars the guy who played Jaws in the James
Richard
Bond
Keel.
films. Richard Keel, yeah, it stars
So-
Richard Keel as the Bigfoot monster who converts to Christianity.
Okay, I was about to be like, is he? I would be happier if he was like
if someone
the
could find
savior.
me an actual copy of that movie, I'd be so delighted.
It would be so much better if he was like the savior of the Bigfoots. Like, of all the Bigfoots, he was the Bigfoot Jesus.
Well, it's more like these two kids find him and are like, oh, he's not so bad. So it's like kind of like a really weird Harry and the Hendersons almost.
Except with, like, the host.
Except with, Richard Keel.
So he was just like a general evangelical Protestant-esque.
Yeah. He's just basically a Protestant-esque, non-Catholic Christian.
That's too bad.
Because apparently they're completely different.
Because I was really looking forward to seeing, like, Bigfoot as an altar boy. Or, like, the one that, like, swings the incense around. That would have been cool.
Oh, the who
Yeah.
swings the Aspergillia.
Like Wookieing along to the mass.
I am amazed that you might have actually found a film that's even stupider than the Mayan Christians of Apocalypse 2012.
Psh,
Oh, man.
it's always those Christians, man.
Sounds
They're-
fantastic. Oh, although, back on the subject of creature features, one of my favorite movies of all time is a creature feature. And that would be Piranha 3D.
Psh.
I love that movie. That movie's great. It's dumb as shit.
See, I can't.
There's something wonderfully stupid about most creature feature films.
Is that the one that James Cameron worked on?
No. I'm talking about the Alex Aja one, the one that came out in 2010. James Cameron worked on the original Piranha 2, but he has since completely disowned that movie because it wasn't the film he wanted to make. Like he took the job, but he did not have final cut, and Roger Corman was telling him what to do the entire time, which he was not happy about.
Oh, James Cameron.
Oh, James Cameron. Yeah, James Cameron's a very, very interesting.
He didn't have enough.
It's a very
It's
interesting.
like he's so
character.
annoyed because he just really wanted close-ups of feet hitting the ground. I just wouldn't let him.
Yeah. In the end, he didn't have a lot of creative control over Piranha 2, so he felt like he wasn't the director so much as just like the camera operator and the guy who handed the actors the script. I mean, he shot the damn thing,
He's like, yeah, I was.
But I can see where he's coming from. Yeah, but I mean, it is the movie that started his relationship with Lance Henriksen, which is why he's in Aliens. Because Lance Henriksen in that one, who Lance Henriksen never looked young. I mean, he just never looked young.
One of the movies that I have a fond recollection of being forced to watch, again, around the same age, we were all in the video store. My friend's like, hey, let's get this movie. It's called Ticks. And it was about evil ticks. And I just couldn't take it seriously. Because I was like...
No, I don't think you're supposed to.
But again, at the eight, that was it. That was around the time where we thought, oh, it's a really scary horror movie. It's going to be really scary, you guys. It's so scary. It's ticks.
The chances are almost every single type of animal has been involved in one of these monster movies at some point. Although, I can't recall one seeing evil domestic cats. Can you think of anything like that?
Strays.
Strays. Okay, it does
Strays.
exist. Okay.
Yeah,
Because
it absolutely exists.
This time, you're getting neutered.
Well, actually, it's even worse than that. It's basically a corrupt cat food company is serving like cannibalistic cat food.
Because
like,
of course
as in
they
it's
are.
made of cats, and then like it causes the cats to go insane,
Because
and so
of
they start
course.
attacking people.
I thought this for a while, that the concept of evil domestic cats, killing people, it's one of these things that's really, really funny, an idea, but if you think about it, if it really happened, it would be absolutely horrific, because just think, okay, a bunch of dogs killing you, that's really, really vicious, and it's really bloody and stuff, and it doesn't last very long. However, a bunch of cats killing you, their claws do much less damage, and they hurt more, because they're like little, so in a cat
Death
one...
by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, a cat one, if it actually happened to you, I maintain being killed by domestic cats would be far worse than being killed by domestic dogs.
Well, here's a reason why, I really hope they don't make another movie like that, because there would be people murdering their own cats. And go with me on this one. I used to work with 2 coworkers, okay?
I'm not sure I want to go with you on your cat murder escapade.
No, just go with me on this. 2 grown women who had children, they had reproduced, even though, that's not saying much, who fervently believed that 1, cats are evil, and 2, they suck your breath at night.
Wait, what?
They really believed it in the year 2013. They really believed this. And I said to them, show me 1 bit of non-anecdotal evidence. Show me 1 bit of scientific evidence that actually happened. And the one girl said, no, see, I saw it on TV, and after time Googling, pulls up a horror anthology. And I said...
Cat's Eye?
I don't know what it was. It was like a whole bunch of like urban legend kind of, it was like one of the show like that. And it compiled a whole bunch of urban legends to like dramatic recreations of what actually didn't happen. And I said, this is fiction. This is not real. No, they're from the devil and they suck your breath in the night. And I could not...
Are these women gypsies or something?
No, they're telecom employees. And I could not get my coworkers to see reason on this. And finally, I just had to stop talking. I was just like, so there are people out there who are so stupid and so superstitious that they would probably see this movie and might end up killing theirs or other people's cats.
Oh.
If you believe the cats suck your breath in the night, rate the show. Because we want to have you on. We want to talk to you.
There's this documentary about Trekkies that reminds me of the story about, like, cats stealing people's breath. And there was this one person who was convinced, for all intents and purposes, that, like, Starfleet was real, yet they worked in a copy shop.
Oh, no.
And they believe it is real to the point that they showed up for jury duty in the Starfleet uniform.
Oh, no.
And people are looking at us like we're weird. And I'm like, if you're showing up to jury duty in your Star Trek uniform, you are weird.
I remember the story about the woman showing up to jury duty in the thing. I didn't remember her thinking Star Trek was real, though. It's been a long time since I've seen it. That's Trekkies, isn't it?
Yes.
That's
it's Trekkies.
Really sad somehow. It's kind of like you so want to live in a world that's so different that you're just so willing to try and believe that world exists, even though you have empirical proof that somebody made it up.
I know. I actually have noticed that there's this commonality of fan groups that tend to be like this. There's this commonality between them. Like, while there are people who are fans of other shows, it doesn't become an identity the way, say, Trekkie or Brony does.
Yeah, I wonder why that is.
I think I have the answer.
Ooh, let's hear.
It's because those settings, those shows, are all about having a role and a place that you can easily slot into. In Star Trek, you're a member of Starfleet. You might be an engineer or a bridge, Yeah,
you have like a rank.
You have a role. You have a rank and role. In My Little Pony, you have the same thing. You got the cutie mark. It tells you everything you need to know about yourself. Like, if you have an apple cutie mark, you're going to do something with apples.
Well, do you get, like, is a cutie mark, like, given to you, like, as a ritual tattoo, or are you just born with it? That's kind of like...
You get, when you're teenage years, it appears based on your personality.
It's like puberty. It's pony puberty, essentially.
But it's like occupational communism pony puberty. You will be the apple grower in the communist pony land.
It would be like if you're 17 and all of a sudden your tramp stamp told you everything.
Yes. It's amazing. This needs to happen in real life for people. No, I can see that. Because I guess you're...
Actually, the thing that always annoyed me is that in that show, because I watched the episode where they go into that, and I'm like, wait, they have a name before they have the mark, but the mark is based off the name. How do you not figure this out? And then I realize, oh, right, because it's a show for 6-year-old girls. It's not meant to be that complicated. I'm just getting bamboozled because of all the 20 and 30-year-old guys that are constantly trying to get me to watch the show.
And by the time the young girls are old enough to understand and question that theory, they're old enough to know about puberty anyway, so...
Yeah. It's one of those, like, well, I like My Little Pony, but I think it's kind of bullshit. I think young girls are a bit smart enough to figure that out.
God. One day Twilight Sparkle's voice starts cracking. And there was one episode where Pinkie Pie learns how to shave. You have to shave your tail, Pinkie Pie. If you get cut, you can use a styptic pencil. Here, you can borrow my razor. She, thanks. You're such a pal. I don't know if that's how the ponies talk, but... I know. Well, actually, they do largely have California accents. Well, they're all girls, right?
Yeah, almost all of them.
Okay. No, there's like the special tampon episode.
It'd be amazing.
Because, I know, Jack, that you don't have this experience, but when... And I'm very sure they didn't do this in the UK. Tell me if I'm wrong. And when we did the sex ed thing, in 5th grade, what they did was they, separated the boys and the girls, and we each got the talk. But in my case, I had gotten the talk a lot earlier because I was an inquisitive child. But we had to watch this little movie about getting your period at school, and it was so bad. It was worse than after-school special quality kind of stuff, And it was always and basically the one enduring rule that you took from this was if another girl asks you for a sanitary product, you give her the damn product. You do it because one day it'll be you. And it was kind of like Death on the Rails mixed with, Honey, did they do that in the UK? I'm betting they didn't.
What if they got their period and they weren't in school?
Well, that was not the thing that was shown.
Because you said they got their period in school.
Right. Well, that was the little dramatization.
I do not recall seeing anything like that. It's probable that I did, but I have a terrible memory
and
or was sick.
It out.
Or blocked it out.
I was sick on that day.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went from creature horror movies to puberty in the My Little Pony verse. So
two tampons. Which I think we should probably be talking about the movie Teeth. Which is all about a young girl who grows teeth in her vagina.
Oh, I heard about it.
Vagina Dentata, the movie.
Yeah. Yep. It's pretty good. One of the common complaints that a lot of people had about the movie is wow, is every guy she meets a horrible misogynistic rapist? And I'm like, yes. Yeah, that's kind of the point.
Yep.
It's you can't have a sympathetic male character and I spit on your grave. It's against the point of the movie.
Oh, you can, but he's probably seen it the back of one scene for 2 seconds, back of his head in a bar somewhere.
Well, at least...
Yeah.
At least she wasn't gay, because then that would totally have been wasted.
Oh.
Who are you going to chomp on then? That's not really how that works.
Well, yeah, they go into that a little bit in Teeth. Yeah, in Teeth they go into that a little bit. With, there's a little bit of the, hey, maybe I'm actually really into girls, but...
With monster movies, the big daddy of them is still going fairly strong occasionally. Godzilla.
Yes.
And there's King Kong and stuff. So as a genre, genres almost never die. They mutate. They sort of they go to sleep for a while. But they come back. I can't think of a genre that's full on dead, except for possibly silent movies. But that's not really a genre. That's a style of filmmaking.
No, they're not dead either, because I had that fan-made Lovecraft Curse of Cthulhu that was done as a silent movie on purpose.
Yeah, there's actually 2 of them.
Which is unfortunate, because they put a lot of work into it, and it looked really cool, but I will usually watch movies while I'm doing something else, and it was very distracting trying to sit up close so I could see the captions, and I was like, oh.
Wasn't the artist silent?
I think so, but I didn't watch it, but didn't it win a ton of awards?
It did. It's a good movie.
So even silent isn't even dead, and it's not even a genre.
Yeah. I think the only one that is the only genre I have seen which has essentially died, particularly right now, is the genre a lot of people refer to as pulp. And here's one of the problems I have even with that, which is a lot of people are
American
people.
American
pulp novel, Rocket Man, or
a bit like Giallo, but American.
No, it's not. Oh wait, yes, actually, sorry.
See, I'm a genius.
Yeah. She said.
No, yes.
How? Yeah. I know I assumed that you were wrong, but after thinking about it for 2 seconds, I realized you were right.
Yeah, because the thing is like for some reason I was on The Rocketeer, so when you said Giallo, I'm like, The Rocketeer's not. Oh wait, but it is pulp. Yes,
I liked The Rocketeer. That was a good movie.
it is. It is a good movie. But
Tape
like
that off
those,
the Disney
the
Channel.
last movie that was kind of like that, which in my opinion was not very good, was Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
I bought that, and I thought it would be good, and it wasn't.
I mean, Rocketeer,
No.
big one. Rocketeer Adventure period movie. Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Like they
It's even the
deliberately.
same director. I should have
Yeah,
thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they made Joe Johnston the director of Captain America: First Avenger, because he directed The Rocketeer, and they wanted the same feel. Oh yeah,
Monster movies are coming back in a big way with Pacific Rim and Godzilla, and those were both international hits.
I really did enjoy Pacific Rim. I went to be entertained, and goddamn it, I was.
Yeah, it was a very simple movie. You know, it was not overly complicated.
Oh yeah, Godzilla was. Pacific Rim. Yeah, it was. My first words on my vlog for that were "believe the hype."
Yeah. So, unfortunately, we are coming up onto the time that we have to cut away to attend to our good friend the doctor. But, as always, Mr. of Planet Dracula, where can people find you, should they wish?
Well, people can find me either at www.thecountjaculashow.com or on That Guy with the Glasses, aka channelawesome.com, starting October 10th, which I believe by the time this episode airs should have passed.
So it'll be time traveling like we always do.
Yeah, I believe the last episode of Lesbian Talk we recorded will appear the day after your videos start on Tickle-Tig.
Ooh, wonderful, wonderful.
So if you missed it and you're hearing this, you better run and check it out.
Yeah, go back and get in your TARDIS, go back in time a few days, and check it out, and it'll be just like new.
And for God's sakes, don't drag the doctor into your goddamn drama. Clara Oswald, I am looking at you. So, honey, what did we watch this week?
This week we watched. Well, actually, it was last week we watched Kill the Moon, but
we're still sorry about it.
We're a little bit delayed, but time has not healed this wound.
No. And so here's the thing. So I watched it with Teddy and the Avatar of Decent Humor and Neil, the other roommate, and we all were kind of like, what? No. Lousy. Angry. Even Takeaway did not heal this wound for us.
Yeah, Kill the Moon starts off as scientifically illiterate, ridiculous, and stupid. However, it starts off as better.
It starts off as pretty good at, going back to, sci-fi roots and stuff like that.
Yeah, it still makes no sense, but you got, a horror movie thing set on the moon with killer moon spiders that are even less ridiculous than the ones from Apollo 18. And it's okay, it's just, it gets worse and worse and worse.
It really does, and I want to say this right away, that I shouldn't, but I do like Courtney.
No, I'm fine with Courtney. Didn't like her as much in this one. I was fine with her in The Caretaker.
Yeah, but I do like her as a character, and so that's pretty cool. But there's just so much that was wrong with this episode, and so much that annoyed me. And, okay, some of the science was fuzzy enough that you could forgive it, but some of it really, really wasn't. Like the part where they ignore, the laws of matter and energy. I was just kind of not okay with that.
I'd just like to say now that the chances are I will do a Twatty Who review on Kill the Moon.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that.
And so much ranting will happen.
But see, here's the thing. Like all of the episodes that I haven't liked this season, my issue is not with Peter Capaldi.
Oh yeah, I've got no issues with Peter Capaldi
my issues,
either.
And my issues are not with the Doctor. Because I think that the Doctor acted exactly like he had, or like he should have. Well, okay, except for the part at the end. But it's just so much emotional bullshit. And I know it sounds so weird to be a woman and saying that, but it really is. Pretty much they should have called this episode the one that's about abortion. Get it? Do you get it? It's about abortion, see? Did you get it? Oh, I guess you don't.
And, okay, doing a thing about abortion, okay, that's bad in its own right. But then, I can totally believe the Doctor would rather save this giant, space monster that's one of its kind, over letting millions of humans die. I can totally see that.
Yes, because he is destroyer of worlds. I mean, everyone keeps thinking, oh, well, the Doctor's so nice, he'd never do shit. He destroyed, like, 2 whole civilizations that we know of.
But then...
And I don't think he felt guilty about it, but he still did it.
He didn't feel guilty when he destroyed the Daleks the first time.
That's true. All right, he felt guilty about destroying the Time Lords. But
he destroyed the Vervods in Terror of the Vervods.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So, okay, you know what? He's kind of... He'll go with the greater good, you know?
So I can understand the Doctor doing what he did, but you've got this thing where it's like, can you kill an unborn creature? Yes, I fucking can kill an unborn creature.
Actually.
Yeah. But then it's like, okay, we've chosen to save this thing. And then, of course, for no reason at all, regardless of what any law of reality says, it's everything's perfectly fine. The monster, the pieces of the moon don't apparently go anywhere near the Earth, so they're not going to land on Earth killing people.
Like, seriously, if you're an astrophysicist, write the show, because I don't think that would happen. I think that those bits would hit at the atmosphere.
At least some of it, yeah. And then we don't have to deal with the after effect of having no moon there. You know, not just continuity, because the moon base is set after this.
It birthed another. How did it birth? How did it get impregnated that quickly?
Well, some animals are born pregnant, but
okay, that's a good point. This sounds like fan fiction to me.
It laid an egg larger than itself.
Mm-hmm.
That was the same egg as its egg.
That's against the law of conservation of matter and energy. Just saying.
It's like, they're like, okay, we're doing an episode on abortion, and we're going to show that you got to choose the baby, and it will never have any negative consequences.
But the
Miracles
thing is that
will happen.
The world didn't, though. The world was like, no, actually, please save us.
Yeah.
If that's all right with you.
We're gonna overrule. We're gonna set this thing up as a democracy thing, even though the people on the other side of the world don't get a vote, apparently.
I know, right? Unless they were orbiting at a rate that's just impossible.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh. Okay, you'll get a vote. Oh, look, they voted to kill the monster because they're fucking sane. And then Clara's like, no, I'm going to overrule you. So Clara's getting rid of their right to choose regardless.
Oh, snap. I didn't even realize that. You're right.
Yeah, it's like she is overruling someone else's right to choose. And then miraculously, there is no negative outcome to this.
Like, I mean, not to make it political, but I'm really surprised there wasn't, like, a scene showing the benefit of a translunar ultrasound. I mean, I'm just saying. See what I did there? You see it?
I did.
There.
I don't think this was deliberate, but they could not have done a sort of more ridiculous and offensive thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think they did it deliberately. It's just like, okay, this is nice.
Because it's not as big an issue in the UK, is it, as it is in America?
No, it's settled. And if it came out of an American show, I could see them having a political point. In this one, it's just a case of, okay, we got this drama, we got the drama, okay, Clara's going to do this, overrule this thing, and then they're, okay, we can't actually, logically this should have a really horrible ending for everyone on Earth, but we're just going to give it a happy ending because it's nicer that way.
And I don't like that the Doctor implies that Courtney will become president of the United States, because and we discussed this in the room while we were watching it, she's not a U.S. citizen. And I guess it's theoretically possible because we've heard her mother speak in the episode previous. We didn't hear her father speak, so it's technically possible her father is an American. She was born in the U.S. and they moved back to England, but it's unlikely. She's not a U.S. citizen. She can't be president. Unless they change the rules.
If the father was born in America, then she would count as a U.S. citizen.
Right, but we said that was unlikely. We said that was possible, but unlikely.
It might be unlikely. My thinking would be either the Doctor's lying, or the Doctor's just pulling shit, or he's making shit up. Or another possibility: America changes its laws because most countries in the world do not have that archaic, silly rule that America has.
I know that's what Neil said, but still.
The Prime Minister of Estonia is an American born in Sweden.
That's kind of cool.
The UK, I believe, has had a Prime Minister who was born in Canada.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well.
Most other countries don't do that.
I know. It just felt like the Doctor was pandering to Clara.
Ireland's first Taoiseach, I believe, was born in America. America really needs to sort of grow over this idea that you need to be born in the country to rule it.
Eagles are crying right now as you say that. Just crying.
Not even our monarchs need to be born in our country. Like, we've had people born in Germany to be monarch. It's like, that's the head of state. That's the person who used to swear fealty if you become an immigrant or whatever. It's, you guys are really quite, it's a bit archaic, dude.
Well, I'll work on that.
Actually, it's not even archaic because we did this, the rest of the world was doing this before America was founded. It's just like it's just xenophobic is what it is.
Well, let me get right on changing American law for you. But until that happens, let's get back to the episode.
Okay.
But you know what? I did like the woman astronaut. I really did like her.
She was the sensible one.
Yeah. She was like, I'm here to do a mission. I became an astronaut because I wanted to explore space. I'm a scientist and I'm a space explorer, and this is what we have to do for the good of mankind. Everyone's like, no, think with your emotions. She's like, I'm a scientist. That's not the point. And I was like, yeah, you go, girl. You go, girlfriend. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What else did I like? I liked the Tumblr reference, even though that'll make the show dated in like, a few years. Like, oh, my granny used to post on Tumblr. She can't put picture to be online. She can't do that. I love that. But, yeah, that amused me. But another thing that really pissed me off, and this carries off from the caretaker, is Clara just needs to fucking get over herself. And I'm sorry. And I know someone said on the WordPress that I should be, more charitable to Clara, but no. Because here's the thing. Here's the point that I made.
You want you to be more claritable?
Yeah. But, so, this is the point that I made We're at Sainsbury's, and I agree with it. That, okay, if this was Rose, for example, you'd have a point. But this is Claire. She's the impossible girl. She's been inside the Doctor's timeline. She knows in and out. She knows what he's capable of. She knows what he's done. She's been there for all of his timelines, all of his lives, somehow. She's really got to get over herself. Again, if it were any other companion, I would say, yeah, maybe I'm being a little bit harsh. But she's got to woman the fuck up. Because otherwise she's not fit to travel in the TARDIS. She can't be having, emotional outbreaks. And I was thinking about comparing her to Perry, who had a doctor with a similar disposition, but somehow Perry didn't make it all about her. And when Clara goes off at the end, she's like, how dare you, pet me on the head like I'm some kind of puppy and things like that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, compared to Time Lord, hun, you kind of are. No other companion has ever, rankled with the Doctor, treating them like a human. And for some reason, that just so pissed me off. I'm like, just get over yourself. I don't know.
I saw someone in a forum suggested that Clara is meant to be an audience surrogate, sort of not really dealing with the fact that we have a very different style of Doctor and a very different age of Doctor, and so she's being designed to sort of be angry at the Doctor and be upset and sort of petulant because they expect the audience to be like that, which is an amusingly meta idea, but yeah, I don't like her for it either. I would be fine with Clara in this season as a character, but she is entirely different than when she was with 11.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's two different characters with the same actor and the same name.
It's kind of confusing because I really dug her. When she was bouncing off Matt Smith, that was really great. And I thought that she was, okay, older Doctor. She's been there. She knows all the Doctor's secrets now, enough to spill them to every NPC that comes down the pike. But she kind of has retro age. She became, more childish. I really don't understand that.
Yeah, it makes... Remember, as far back as Deep Breath, I was saying that her reaction to it made no sense. And this is, constantly building on that.
Yeah, I just feel like if this had been Perry, that there wouldn't have been this problem. Because, Perry had to deal with the Doctor who was, let's be honest, the Sixth Doctor was kind of out of his mind. But in a good way. But she didn't make it all about her. I don't know.
And the thing with Clara, it continues on in the next episode.
Oh, boy.
I got the feeling that Clara is going to be leaving, if not before the Christmas special, then at the Christmas special.
Well, wasn't there a rumor going around that What's-Her-Face Jenna Coleman actually was leaving the show?
That's an actual rumor, but just narratively from the episodes, I think she's coming to an end. I'm almost thinking that... Okay, with something that they do in the next episode, I'm almost thinking that they're setting up Clara for a severe... I think something nasty is going to happen to her.
You think she might die?
It's possible.
Mm.
Given the way that New Who is, I would not say it's very likely, but narratively, I think she's being set up for something horrible.
Okay. I can deal with it. I mean, of course, I think Jenna Coleman, the actress, is really good. I do like her, but Clara's pissing me the fuck off.
How did you feel whenever you discovered that she was in Captain America?
Well, I felt nothing because I've not seen it, and I...
Okay, I'll make you watch and be all like, oh no, Clara just put on a bad American accent and hung around in 1940s.
Such a douche.
She's like, Doctor, I really want to see fabled, hero of World War II, Captain America. It's like, okay, Clara, what you to do? But you gotta put on a silly American accent.
Well...
And at this sort of, World Fair type thing, they also see Tony Stark's dad showing off his prototype hover car.
It's me, Tony Stark's dad. How you doing? I'm American.
Yeah, and his dad is played by the baddie from Dracula Untold.
Oh, Oh, okay.
With because he's actually English
It's like,
online.
it's all connected somehow.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm hoping the next episode is. But again, I guess the best thing that you can say about Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor himself is that the problems with this season have nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, and now this is again a reference to the next one, but because I know Omega hasn't watched it yet, so I'm going to try not to spoil. There is a bit in it where Capaldi talks to himself, and this could be like a representation of. Remember how in Listen the Doctor may have written Listen on the board? He's not sure, like he might have dissociative personality. I think this has been suggested. On this one, he talks to himself. It looks like he's having a conversation with himself, and you don't know if he's doing full-on Gollum type thing, or possibly is he just sort of messing with himself, just doing his thoughts aloud. But one of the two voices he used in the conversation sounds like an impersonation of Tom Baker. So it's been suggested that he's actually having a conversation with one of his earlier personalities, incarnations, about the situation.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's a nifty scene because they're talking about mummies, and the Fourth Doctor took on mummies. So it's like someone had this idea that perhaps the Doctor, the other Doctors live inside his subconscious, which was in the books, and he could actually bring them to the fore in order to play out problems, which is a good idea.
He should channel the Sixth Doctor, and they should have adventures together with their multiple personality selves. I'd love to try that. They can go find Perry, Nicola Bryant. I know she still does voiceovers. They can go find her and bring her back. Like, oh, come on, Perry, you'll do a better job than Clara did. I should do that. I should tweet at Nicola Bryant and be like, you were better than Clara, and she'd be like, oh, thanks, dear, or something like that. I don't know.
Although Perry, at least in my head, canon is dead.
Yeah, I know, but they think, well, it's New Who. They think of something. No one's really dead.
And even in Big Finish, I don't think she's dead either. They did a sequel to Mind Warp.
So that's what I have to say about that. But it's time for that part of the show that we couldn't get rid of, even though we tried. As much as we love to talk about Doctor Who forever, it's time for Giovanni's trivia question. And Giovanni, are you with us tonight?
Yeah, boss, sure I am. So, how y'all doing, catching kittens in Radioland? I am very sorry to report that nobody knew what Hawaiian Punch was originally developed for, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm not offended. So, for future reference, Hawaiian Punch was originally developed not as a drink, but as an ice cream topping, which actually on vanilla ice cream sounds kind of good. So, let me go with something a little bit easier. Let me go with something more mammal-based this week. So, Bill Clinton, former president of the United States, leader of the free world, he appeared on a show called Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, and he correctly answered 3 questions about what? What did he answer those 3 questions correctly about? It's something kind of pop culture-y. So if you know the answer, as soon as this goes up on Blip, tweet at the Omega Geek, that's at the Omega Geek, with the correct answer, and you will be my favorite mammal for next week. How's that sound?
I think it sounds like a good thing.
Trivia question? Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I gotta go off and do things and stuff. I will see you all next time. So there that was. But, so anyway, we're coming up to the end of the show, and I have been the Omega Geek, and honey, who would you have want to have been this week?
I have been Baldur.
Like, of the gate?
No, the Nordic god.
Oh, okay. We'll see y'all next time.